Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about what would happen if Naruto was a Hotake, and this is one of those videos that I never finished a long time ago, so I figured it's about time that I do this thing some justice. That being said though, ladies and gentlemen, there is two things that I quickly want to say. Number one, there is two bangers that are currently being worked on right now, so expect some fire videos coming soon. And number two, this video is not going to be heavily edited at all. It's more like going to be a podcast, like an audiobook or something, so listen to it while you do something else, because if not, it's going to be kind of boring. Anyways, that said, enjoy. Alright, jumping into the video, the first thing that we have to cover is how is Naruto a Hotake? And I think that the easiest way for this to happen is that Minato is going to be a Hotake. Like originally he's called the Yellow Flash. This time he's going to be called what's that, Quicksilver? He's going to be called Quicksilver just because like his hair is silver, gray, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to be his nickname instead of the Yellow Flash of the Leaf. It's going to be the Quicksilver or something like that, right? But regardless of what his nickname is, Minato's like clan doesn't really matter, considering that his abilities weren't linked to his clan, just his flying Raijin technique, which he obviously ended up making super busted. But because of that, there's really nothing to cover with that. And then we're sort of just going to be jumping immediately off to the day when Naruto would have the Nine-Tails sealed inside of him, the day of his birth, obviously. When that happens, Minato's still going to die. I mean, him being a Hotake doesn't actually change anything. I mean, potentially it would give him higher chakra reserves, but we don't want to jump into like unknown territories and just start saying that he has these abilities just cuz. So I think that for now, we leave it here. With that, we can now jump into real territory and stuff that we can actually cover, and that's just going to be, what is Naruto's childhood like? Now, this is the first spot where I think I'm going to be changing everything. Now, obviously, if Naruto was a Hotake and like that's all it was, and Naruto's going to be known as a Hotake, like cool, whatever, he's going to have a couple of changes. Number one, his hair is actually going to be silver, and it's like, who else's hair is silver other than the Hotake clan? So this time around, Naruto wasn't going to be called Naruto Uzumaki, but Naruto Hotake, because it's like, you can't hide it this time around. Like, his hair isn't blonde, it's silver or gray, right? So he is going to be a Hotake, and because of that, Naruto is going to have people like coming after him, because obviously they're going to know like, this is Minato's son. Meaning this time around, Naruto's status as Minato's son is actually going to be out there in the light, which is going to be something interesting, considering now Naruto can't just like, Naruto isn't going to be treated horribly by the village, and instead Naruto's actually going to end up being adopted by Kakashi. Yes, like a super young Kakashi would actually end up taking the mantle of Naruto's like father figure, just because of the fact that Kakashi knows that he's like related to him, and he knew Minato, like that was his sensei, and like he's like the last Hotake like other than him, right? So Kakashi's just like, okay, like I have to raise this kid, like I have to do right by Minato, I have to do right by my father, I have to do right by my clan. And Naruto would end up being raised by Kakashi. Because of this would have a couple of repercussions, which is basically just, Naruto is very powerful, right? In the original, we know that Naruto was a genius. He just was a genius that had no help. He was a genius with no tools. He was a genius that didn't have access to the things that could actually help him become a genius. But now he's actually gonna be having access to Kakashi. Kakashi is gonna be helping train Naruto. Kakashi is not gonna be letting Naruto just fall behind in his studying. So now we're gonna get a smart version of Naruto who is a genius, who is gonna be slightly cocky, and who is sort of gonna be just like Kakashi was in his youth, like with his Genin Academy days. And this version of Naruto, while he is going to struggle massively with his chakra control, like he's not going to be able to just bust out jutsus like Kakashi was, he is going to have insanely good taijutsu skills and the bare basics of like tree walking and like stuff like that. And he's also going to know a couple of wind jutsus, considering that is his chakra nature. So by the time that he is in the Genin Academy, Naruto is actually going to be the strongest one in the class, and Sasuke is going to be sort of playing second fiddle to Naruto. Naruto this time around is going to be popular because it's like, he's the son of the fourth, you know, like he's a hero, you know? And even though everybody knows Naruto has the Nine-Tails inside of him, the story would be told differently, where this time around Naruto's able to be a hero instead of a monster. This in turn would literally change everything for Naruto, literally everything for his life. Naruto has such a better upbringing than he does in the original, and this would be like the best thing that could ever happen to Naruto. Like seriously, it doesn't get any better than this, because Naruto's not going to have to deal with all the horrible things that happen, and now Naruto actually gets to be a normal kid. Also, by the time that Naruto would actually be placed on a Team 7, Naruto would be more than ready for anything that's going to be coming his way. Like, and also not only that, but Naruto now is actually going to know Kakashi and is going to have a super close relationship with Kakashi by the time that the team would be selected. Sasuke is going to have a little bit of a grudge against Naruto, but mainly going to look at him as a rival, someone he actually wants to surpass. So this would help the narrative of the story, and Sasuke being second fiddle to Naruto would actually be kind of cool, considering Sasuke would actually be a little stronger than he would be in the original, considering he's not the strongest, he doesn't think he's the best, and this time he has a higher goal to strive for. This means that Naruto and Sasuke would low-key be on some pretty insane levels of power just off the bat, like when they're getting, you know? So the first mission that we would get in the original, which is the Zabuza and Haku arc, would actually go down just like it does in the original. I see no reason for Naruto and Sasuke to intervene with the Kakashi versus Zabuza fight, so he's still gonna get trapped. Naruto and Sasuke are still gonna have to help Kakashi break out of there. They would do so a little differently than they would in canon, but nothing changes after the fact because Kakashi would still end up destroying Zabuza. And eventually after this, we would actually end up getting a scene in which Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi would make their way to the bridge. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in the original Naruto timeline, if Naruto didn't like stay asleep, what was her name? Tsunami and Inari were for sure gonna die because two bandits ended up coming after them and were gonna take them hostage, and who knows what they were gonna do to them, right? So this time around, Inari sort of dies, and it's like womp 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 womp, who cares, you know? So Inari dies, Tsunami lives because, you know, she doesn't have a big mouth, but Inari tried to be a big man and stuff, and since Naruto wasn't around, like, unfortunately Inari just, yeah, he kicks the bucket soon. But Naruto, on the other hand, would be on the bridge, and he would actually be tag teaming Haku along with Sasuke, meaning that they're both absolutely not going to be giving Haku enough time to use his Ice Crystal Mirror Jutsu. Because of this, Naruto and Sasuke would both be able to like just barely pull ahead of Haku, do their absolute best, and would actually be capable of defeating Haku, meaning Sasuke this time around doesn't end up getting the Sharingan at this point because he already has the Sharingan. Having to have looked forward to like Naruto seeing that he was so much stronger, Sasuke trained so much harder than he would have in the original. And things like this and would lead Sasuke to unlocking his Sharingan in a super unorthodox way before he even became a Genin, which would be absolutely insane. And I know some of you guys might be like, yo, but you didn't even cover the bell test. Like, had you said that, we would have known that. But it's like, come on now, like the bell test is like, it has no stakes. It doesn't like change anything in the story. But yeah, Naruto, Sasuke would both be able to defeat Haku, and because they're both able to defeat Haku, we're able to just move straight on to the Chunin exams, where here Naruto and Sasuke would like sort of be in a, we would jump into Naruto's point of view, right? And the scene that I could see playing out here is Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura would be walking when suddenly Sasuke would be like, get out of the way, you know, like, I know that this is the entrance to the Chunin exams. And then the two like guards, like, they'd be like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Eventually Sasuke throws a kick, the Chunin throws a kick, and Lee would stop both of the kicks, like just coming in looking super cool. However, it'd be a lot harder for him to do it than he would have in the original. And then after this, Lee flirts it up with Sakura, he gets rejected, and then he would end up actually challenging Sasuke. This time around, when Sasuke would actually fight Lee, it would be a little bit of a closer battle. However, I still think Lee is just like, Lee's up there when it comes to taijutsu, considering Sasuke wasn't allowed to use ninjutsu. I think he still gets slapped around by Lee, unfortunately, and because of that, we then jump straight into the Chunin exams, right? Now, the only thing of note that I have to cover here is the Orochimaru section. Like, what goes down here? Like, what does Naruto being a Hatake change here? Well, I can put it two ways. Like, Naruto's a lot stronger. He's gonna have a couple more jutsus in his arsenal, and he's gonna have an analytical brain so that he could like sort of help them out in this situation. But it's Orochimaru, so it's like, no matter how much stronger I make Naruto, even if he was strong as four-tailed Naruto in Shippuden, he still wasn't able to defeat Orochimaru, who was weakened by the way. So this Naruto is definitely not going to be defeating this version of Orochimaru. They still are unfortunately going to get defeated. Naruto would, however, this time have his like QB rage moment, which happens like for the first time in the series, and Naruto's gonna learn that he has access to those powers, and like obviously he knows it's the Jinchuriki, but he was never able to draw the power out. Now he did, and he realizes, okay, when I get angry, I'm able to draw the power out. He like thinks about things and will be like, okay, like I shouldn't use this power unless it's absolutely necessary. And that's gonna be the exact train of mind that Naruto's gonna be having for this scenario specifically, right? Because of this, we're gonna be jumping straight into the 1v1 battles, and here Naruto absolutely stomps Kiba. Like there's no way around it. Naruto's gonna absolutely crush Kiba within an inch of his life, and there's nothing Kiba's gonna be able to do about it. Seriously, there's nothing at all. We would then get all the battles that happened in the original, and following that, I can definitely, like I'm so serious right now, I could definitely see Naruto just going absolutely ham during the 1 month of training, because this time Naruto has polished up his basics, and Naruto's gonna be able to learn a couple more jutsus from Jiraiya than he would have in the original. This time around, Naruto not only learns Toad Summoning, not only learns how to control a bit of his Kurama Chakra, and not only learns a couple of jutsus from Jiraiya, but he would actually also learn the Rasengan way earlier than he would have done in the original. And this time around, Naruto would be even more prepared for his battle against Neji. However, early on in the story, Naruto's taijutsu abilities weren't the thing that made him keep up with Neji, so I still think that him versus Neji would be a really interesting battle, and I definitely see Neji still being able to shut down Naruto's chakra paths. Sorry, not sorry, but like it's gonna happen, you know what I mean? So once Naruto's chakra paths would get shut down, Naruto ends up tapping into the power of the Kyuubi, and so Naruto would end up bodying Neji before then popping out from the ground like he would so in the original and slamming a Rasengan into Neji's stomach, sending him flying into the wall, leaving a crater behind. After this, we would get the events with Sasuke versus Gaara going down, and just like in the original, Naruto would end up actually chasing after Sasuke going into the forest, where he ultimately would defeat Gaara. However, this time in a more convincing fashion rather than the one that we would have gotten in the original, where it's like, it almost seemed like everything aligned perfectly for Naruto to beat him. Not so much he beat him, but everything was just pointing towards plot armor. You know what I mean? This time around, Naruto does it using his know-how and actually involving Sasuke in it, because they would have actually ended up using a couple combination jutsus to actually defeat Gaara, and alongside the help of Gamabunta, which was Naruto summoning, they would shoot a couple of water jutsus before transforming Gamabunta into Kurama, grabbing onto him, and Sasuke would ultimately land the blow that would knock Gaara back into his senses, and eventually Naruto would talk no jutsu Gaara, leading us to the Search for Tsunade arc, I believe it is? Yeah, the Search for Tsunade. This time around, when Naruto ends up going with Jiraiya, we would get a couple of different things. First, Naruto's situation when he runs into Itachi and Kisame absolutely changes. In the original, Naruto was a little scared, he didn't know what to do, he wasn't sure of the whole situation, and he ended up staying in the hotel room, which I question a bit because two very, very powerful ninjas are there. If I was him, I would do the very utmost I could possibly do to run away. And this version has that big brain. So the second that Naruto sees Itachi Kisame, he jumps back, creates a ton of shadow clones, and would immediately have them distract them as he would rush towards the nearest window and run out of there. Immediately using a jutsu like, I don't even know, just a big massive jutsu that would alert Jiraiya of what's going on. Meaning this time around, Jiraiya is gonna arrive in like what, a cool minute. So Naruto just has to hold Kisame and Itachi off for a minute, which is not going to be that hard considering Itachi is on Naruto's side like canonically, and he's not going to be going all out. He's also probably not going to let Kisame go all out, and with Sasuke coming in the way that he does like he would in the original, coming in screaming Itachi, I definitely don't see a world where Naruto gets captured, and instead this whole situation plays out a little differently. Once they're trapped in the Toadmouth Jutsu, everything kind of aligns just like it does in canon, and Sasuke unfortunately does still get Tsukiyomi, meaning, yeah, he's still gonna be a little emo boy, but yeah. So following this, the next thing that I definitely see changing is Naruto's fight with Tsunade. Now in the original version, Naruto wasn't able to actually use the Rasengan at this point, and this time around, when Naruto faces off against Tsunade, he's not going to do his usual fighting style where he just rushes in blindly, not knowing anything at all. This time around, Naruto's going to grab a kunai from his pouch and say, alright, I hope this works, as he throws it at the direction of Tsunade, and Tsunade would laugh, being like, kid, you missed. But Naruto, like grabbing the kunai mid-air with a Rasengan in hand, would slam it into the back of Tsunade, saying, did I? As like, bam, like she would just get sent flying into a crater. And I know some of you guys are like, hey, yo, this is not what if Naruto had the flying Raijin, but think about it. This version of Naruto's a lot smarter. Naruto knows the fact that Minato's his father. I was about to say Itachi, but no, Kakashi understands how the jutsu works, sort of. And I definitely see a world where Kakashi tries to teach this jutsu to Naruto. So I definitely do think that this would work and definitely happen. And with Naruto finally having like learned this jutsu properly, Naruto would be super excited. As following this, we then get the events where Orochimaru and Kabuto would try to ambush them, right? But just like in the original, Naruto more than handles his own against Kabuto, not allowing the fight to become close quarters, actually using a bunch of long-range jutsus, until eventually Naruto would throw a bunch of kunai all over the floor and like using the whatever jutsu, and then he would just teleport to one and just absolutely clobber Kabuto with the Rasengan. As following this, they would retreat. Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Naruto return to the village, and here would be where things slightly change, because in the original, Sasuke runs off away from the village, and Naruto, now being Hatake and also being a lot closer and being stronger than Naruto this whole time around, we don't get the fight in which they both destroy like their water tanks. Instead, we sort of just have Kakashi not even getting a talk by Kakashi, which means he's actually going to be leaving the village. And I'm not gonna lie, because he doesn't have a reason to like yes, he and Naruto are a lot closer, but because this time around he knows Naruto's stronger than him, he knows that he got absolutely clobbered by Itachi, and Kakashi never gave him the talk of give up on revenge, it never ends well. He ends up actually leaving during the dead of the night, right? Just like he would in the original. And because of this, he would end up basically joining the Sound Four. And the very next day, the entire village would find out about this, in which what would end up going down is that the Sasuke retrieval like squad would be made. And eventually we would find ourselves in Naruto's perspective as he sees Sasuke running on top of the head of the one of the monuments in the final valley, where Naruto yells out Sasuke's name, being like, Sasuke! It'd be in this moment that I could definitely see a scene playing out where Sasuke like turns back around. He's like, finally you caught up to me. And then like they just have a little bit of banter back and forth before they ultimately fight. And I'm not gonna lie, I wish I could hype this battle up, but this version of Naruto isn't a knuckleheaded ninja. In fact, he is a genius ninja around the same battle IQ that Sasuke has, which is absolutely insane if you really think about it. And both of them going back and forth would end up like landing these insane blows. I can definitely see Naruto like saving his flying Raijin abilities to the very end when they're about to have the Rasengan clash, and Naruto would just like throw a kunai at Sasuke with one hand, as his other hand has the flying Raijin. He teleports behind Sasuke and then would just slam the Rasengan in Sasuke's back, just like Minato would have done so to Obito. And because of that, Sasuke would end up actually being taken back to the village, where he would be given a Talk no Jutsu by Naruto. Kakashi would end up giving him a Talk no Jutsu and telling Kakashi that if he really wanted to get stronger, he could have just told him. As from here, we get a training time skip, but this time around Sasuke would train with Kakashi, and Naruto would leave with Jiraiya just like he does in the original. This time around, because Naruto's abilities are so polished up, during the time skip, he actually would end up learning insane abilities such as the Rasen Shuriken, Sage Mode, and a lot better control of just chakra change like a nature. Like he would actually end up learning all 5 natures, or actually I think he would learn actually all 5 natures, and Naruto would just be very, very broken at this point, which ultimately leads me to the sections in the story in which Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi would end up going to retrieve Gaara. This time around, the story is going to be changing drastically, because when Naruto would actually end up having his encounter with Deidara, it's gonna be a little bit of a one-sided massacre. Naruto is gonna have access to Sage Mode. Naruto is gonna have access to so many more jutsus. Naruto is gonna be so much faster, so much stronger, so much more intelligent that whatever Deidara tries to throw at him, Naruto would be able to neg and counter. and I just don't see a world where Deidara escapes this part alive. Deidara doesn't fake his death. Deidara ends up dying. Sasuke and Sakura would easily be able to handle Sasori. It's just laughable how easy it becomes. And eventually we would get the section of the story in which they end up returning back to the village. A couple of weeks passed, and eventually Hidan and Kakuzu would end up killing Asuma. It'd be at this point that Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would be sent to that battlefield where both Naruto and Sasuke would end up both using their insane tag team combo wombos to absolutely destroy Kakuzu, with Naruto landing the finishing blow, landing a Rasen Shuriken. And ultimately, when they return to the village, Sasuke would be given a crow by Itachi that tells him it's time. Because of this, Sasuke would end up thinking to himself that it'd probably be a better choice to go off by himself, and so he wouldn't end up telling anybody about it, running off in the dead of night. And it'd be on the same day that Naruto would end up finding out that Jiraiya left the village to do something. So Naruto's just like, okay, well, he left the village, like, I guess I just train. And Naruto goes to look for Sasuke but realizes he's not there. It'd be at this point that Naruto wouldn't actually see the letter, considering Sasuke's not dumb enough to leave it there. And he just like, yo, where's Sasuke? You know, like trying to find him. But when he doesn't find him, he's just like, okay, like he'll be fine, like everything will be good. And he's a little wrong, because Obito still ends up taking Sasuke. Naruto is in the village, and Jiraiya dies. When Jiraiya dies this time around, because Naruto already has access to Sage Mode, he sort of just polishes up a couple of other things. And eventually when Pain would arrive in the village, Naruto wouldn't arrive late and like destroy one of the paints. Instead, Naruto would be there, and with Sasuke not being in the village, the battle would be a difficult one. However, this version of Naruto is a lot more powerful than the one that we get in the original. I'd argue to say that he could definitely handle Pain. Like, he doesn't even end up losing his cool like he would in the original, thus he never meets Minato. And because of that, Naruto would actually do very good against Pain, destroy him, ultimately end up getting Pain to use the Rinne Rebirth Jutsu on the village. And after this, we would get events like Sasuke trying to take out Killer Bee, however without the help of Taka. This time around using Obito, or not Obito, but I guess yeah, Obito. So Sasuke and Obito would end up going to try to take out Killer Bee. They would successfully do so, because this time around Obito's there also, so I don't see a world where he survives. This means Kisame actually gets to keep Samehada, and what this also means is the battle that Might Guy has against Kisame would be a lot harder, because now Kisame actually has his blade. But yeah, like regardless of that, I still think Might Guy would have won that fight regardless, honestly, with or without his blade. And with that being the case, there's really nothing else to cover once we get to this point, because think about it this way: Naruto is a lot more powerful, a lot more intelligent, and all the things. Like, obviously he has the Flying Raijin, but once we get to this point of the war arc where White Mask Obito would actually be a thing, it's like, yes, the Flying Raijin is very broken. Yes, Naruto has access to KCM1 now. Yes, Naruto has access to a ton of really cool jutsus that will probably help him a lot in this battle. Naruto sort of isn't gonna be strong enough or able to actually hit Obito. And because Obito's already encountered a Flying Raijin attack by his father, I think that the battle would ultimately at this point start like getting closer and closer to what we would get in the original, which is just Obito ends up turning into the Ten Tails, Naruto ends up giving him a Talk no Jutsu, Madara then becomes the Ten Tails, Might Guy would then end up going 8 gates, because I still think that Naruto and Sasuke would end up getting killed. And after that, they come back with their Sage of Six Paths modes, where ultimately they're both easily able to handle Kaguya like they would. Is it easily? That's not true. It was a very hard battle, but after this, they're able to take them out, and then we would finally get the battle between Naruto and Sasuke in the final valley, in which I can definitely see this battle going in Naruto's favor a lot easier than it would in canon, with Naruto potentially having the maybe actually taking care of Sasuke, considering that this version of Naruto is like, I giving you chance after chance, and you always come back to this point, Sasuke. Like, what is it with you? So he might kill him, but for the sake of the story, let's say he doesn't, and instead the Naruto timeline would remain sort of intact. Naruto this time around just had a lot of an easier path, was liked by a lot more people, and was just a really cool character, where if this series that I just went over was animated, it would be more of a, instead of a knuckleheaded ninja rising through the ranks, learning how to grow into himself, it would be more of like the show might as well be called Sasuke Uchiha, because it's like Naruto would be sort of prepared for everything that this shinobi world could throw his way, and because of that, the story would be a lot more interesting, or low-key boring and interesting at the same time. But yeah, regardless of that, ladies and gentlemen, this is where this story is going to be ending. And for those of you that want more content from me, do remember that I am going to be dropping a what if Naruto had the 8 inner gates soon, and I'm also going to be dropping a what if Naruto had a Karma Steel, which is going to be a collab with another YouTuber, so that's going to be really, really cool. Both of those videos, like, I did absolutely insane on, and I just hope that you guys go on to enjoy them as much as I enjoyed making them. So with all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, please, 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 for your boy, smash a like on this video, leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys think, comment down below any what if suggestions and stuff like that, share this video with a friend, seriously, help this video do so much better in the algorithm, and if it does, I might consider covering what ifs like this more often on the channel. But yeah, with all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, it has been your boy Zether, and I am out. Peace!